Good Tuesday. Hello, good people out there. Welcome to FSEN Daily. Today, we're going to jump into some sports. This is going to be a sports-heavy podcast. Just forewarning you now, there was one game last night, what has turned out to be a big rivalry game between Da Vinci and Emmanuel Christian. These two teams have, over the years, been going at it, and for the last 3-4 years, Emmanuel's had Da Vinci's number. But last night, Da Vinci came out and they executed. And the Dragons of Da Vinci, the number 5 team here in the Borderland, they beat Emmanuel Christian 3-1 to improve their record to 23-1, while Emmanuel falls to 8-15. Now, Emmanuel's record is very, very, very deceptive. That is a very good team. They've got length. They've got athleticism. They got some girls that can pound that ball down to the ground. And last night was a very impressive victory for Da Vinci. One of the things I always like to say about Da Vinci is that they're going to keep the ball alive and make you beat yourself. Now, they do have some blockers up front that create some big walls for sure, but they don't beat themselves, and that's in a lot for sports, especially at the high school level. When you don't beat yourself, you give yourself every opportunity to win. And truthfully, that team legitimately only lost one game. They kind of beat themselves in the other game that they lost. But I digress. But again, congratulations to the Dragons of Da Vinci as they go in and break probably I want to say at least a 3-year losing streak against Emmanuel. Probably the last 6 games Emmanuel's won, but that rivalry is definitely growing, and those teams will square off again October 7th at Da Vinci, and I'm expecting it to be another really good game. Let's move forward here as we continue to matriculate through the show. So today's Tuesday. What happens on Tuesday? We announced the BSR Week 4 Player of the Week presented by P2C Athlete Prep. And this week is no different. We're actually getting it out on time. And this week's Player of the Week goes to Carlos Rojas III from Riverside High School. 134 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 214 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 15 receiving yards. That young man put on a show. You hear me, folks? That young man put on a show last week. And congratulations to you, Carlos, on being the BSR Player of the Week presented by P2C Athlete Prep. Now let's matriculate on through this show here. There is a ton of games being played tonight in volleyball. And we're actually streaming out one of these games. At 6:40, we have the Canyon Teal versus it's a Canyon Teal versus El Paso High game that we're definitely looking forward to that one. That'll be on the network, so download the app. Can't express that enough. Download the app, watch the game. The only place you'll be able to watch that Canyon Teal game is on the app, or you can go to the website. You can go to FSEN.com, click on our 24/7 channel, and watch the game on your computer as well if you'd like to do that. But I think it's a better viewing experience to sit down and download the app to your TV on Roku or Amazon Fire Stick and watch from there for sure. So we're having some technical difficulties here, but we're going to get this straightened out. In the meantime, some of the games that we have going on, let's take a look at the standings real quick before we jump into the games today for volleyball. So as you can see right now in 3A, Alpine leads that district. So we go over to 1-4A, you got Austin at the top at 2-0. And we're in the thick of district play now. So, all these games really matter. In 2-4A, you got Isleta at the top, tied with Fabens, both at 2-0 in the district. Then we get over to 1-5A. You got Burgess at 2-0, El Paso High 2-0, Canyon Teal 1-1, and so definitely a huge implications in district play here, as Canyon Teal does not want to get down 2 games to those top teams in district standings. Then 2-5A, you got Americas sitting there at 4-0, Hanks at 4-0. Again, Hanks, another deceptive team at 8-14. Overall, that's a really good team, as you can see once they got into district play. And then at 1-6A, we've got East Lake still at the top at 3-0, Eastwood at 3-0, and got a huge matchup today between East Lake and Franklin at 6:30 at Franklin. That's the number 1 and number 3 teams going head to head. That's going to be a battle. Let me tell you, folks, that's going to be a battle. Now let's take a look at the football standings. We got football kicking off on Thursday, but in 2-3A, Compass Academy's leading the way there. 1-4A is Isleta at 2-0, and Fabens at 2-0, Riverside at 2-0. So you got 3 teams. Oh, and then you got Austin at 1-0. So you really have 4 teams that have not lost a district game yet. So it's going to be interesting how that pans out as well in district play once they get going. 1-5A, you got El Dorado. Oops, we lost that. 1-5A, you got El Dorado at they will kick off. So 1-5A kicks off district play this week. So that'll be interesting to see how that district finishes up. We're predicting El Dorado to win it, but Americas does have a say in that, and so does Parkland, I think. 2-5A, you got Del Valle and Andrews sitting atop at 2-0, Hanks at 1-0, Canyon Teal at 1-1. Canyon Teal's got a big game this Friday, as they will be taking on El Paso High, and they cannot afford to lose that game. Canyon Teal cannot afford to lose that game, to get down 2 losses in the district play to give themselves a chance to win a district title. So definitely look to see the Eagles compete heavily this weekend. Well, I'm sorry, on Friday. Folks, we're having all kinds of issues today. Yeah, we're having some issues. But we're going to work through this. I promise you. We're going to work through this. And then we got and this is what happens when you do a live show, right? Then 1-6A, you got Pebble Hills. So 1-6A kicks off district play this week. A lot of big games. Got Franklin going against Coronado is one of those games. Just a lot of big games in district play coming up here in the borderland. And so it's going to be interesting to see how all that works out for these teams. Let's jump back into volleyball. So tonight, let's take a look at the top 10. So tonight we have number 1 Eastlake versus number 3 Franklin, 6:30 p.m. scheduled time at Franklin. Then you got Fabens versus number 6 Isleta, 6:35 p.m. at Isleta. You got number 10 Americas traveling to Parkland to play Parkland at 6:35 p.m. Number 4 Burgess takes on Andrus at 6:40 at Andrus. Number 7 El Paso takes on Jefferson at Jefferson at 6:40. And then you got Eastwood versus Coronado. Now Eastwood's 3-1, Coronado's 2-1. At Coronado, that could be a major upset alert there on that game. I'm going to say upset alert there on that game for sure. Coronado has the pieces to give Eastwood a run if they play, but Eastwood's tough. They're a very tough team. They're tough. But they play at 6:40 to kick that off. So, yeah, folks, that's been really a quick rundown because, like I said, we have to go and get set up for this 6:40 tip-off that we have at Canyon Teal. So we'll get everything set up and come up live there pregame for pregame show. And again, download the app, join us there. One final quick blurb here. If you're a business out there and you're looking to advertise in local sports, give us a call. We've got some great packages. Like I said, we've got football, volleyball, boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball coming up. So you definitely want to be a part of that. Reasonable rates. We've got a lot of advertising opportunities beyond that as well with the podcast and stuff. But reach out to us, 915-300-0481. No one answers, leave a message. We'll get back to you for sure. Or you can email steve@ebhfitnessllc.com. Folks, again, this has been the FSEN Daily Show here on FSEN, the network. We've been live here from the mountain podcast room here at Howard Family Media Group. Podcast rooms are available. They have 2 podcast rooms. We have this one in the Rio Grande podcast room. They're available for rent if you want to do podcasts, or if you need full production on your podcast, everything from the logo to music to full production, both video and audio. Reach out to us. We definitely got some packages that can help you out. But hey, folks, another beautiful Tuesday. Continue to watch, continue to support. Thank you guys. Be blessed, and we'll see you tonight on FSEN. Download the app.